Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the League of Oranges podcast. I am one of your hosts, TK, and today we're going to be talking about what's going on in NA, EU, and the public beta environment. So, let me introduce you to Zach up there.
On my screen I'm on the bottom right, but that works. I am Ginger Jesus. Ginger Jesus 1 if you want to be particular.
Anything else? That was lame, Zach.
I'm one of the oranges.
You are the other orange, that's correct.
Yeah,
I'm glad you figured that out. Okay, Charlie, do you want to go next?
I see what you
I totally didn't get the name. I totally didn't get the name of this podcast. Now I understand.
Glad you're here. 10 out of 10.
Oh my god. Oh.
Is it because they're both fire crotches?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, that is exactly it.
Alright. I'm Charlie. My summer name's right there. It's Snow Dogs. I main support. I'm a bronze nub, but I'm working on it. And I know some things about esports.
Okay, good. That was better than Zach's. Proud of you. Okay, David, you're next. Okay.
Okay. I'm Spanky Pooksy. No relation to Pooksy. I am shit at this game. I don't really know anything. I'm probably going to be Googling the names of these, whoever we're talking about. I don't really know what we're talking about here. But I'm going to Google them. I'm going to give my completely uninformed opinion on things. The only champion I know anything about is Fizz, because he is the only champion I play. Am I good at him? No. But he's the only one I play. I'm better than Charlie. I will want him any day.
And Fizz.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, we're going to be talking about Fizz today a little bit, actually.
Fizz.
We are a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I heard. They're nerfing Lichbane.
Yeah, and they're buffing Fizz.
That wasn't even what we were going to talk about.
We weren't even going to talk about that, though. But, Brian, go.
Alright, hey, I'm Brian. My summer name's not intended on the NA server. I am garbage, but I'm gold, which is better than everyone else in this call.
I haven't played ranked, just throwing it out there.
I haven't played League in a week and don't plan on playing much anymore, but I watch LCS every once in a while, so I'll give you my shitty opinion.
Okay, and what color is your car? Did we ever figure that out?
My car color is Iridium Graphite.
Oh, okay,
That's
good.
the official color, and I messed up on all my forms so far.
Good work. 10 out of 10.
It's purple.
It's purple? Close enough. Okay, we are going to start today off by talking about what went on in the EU LCS last week. That would be week 7 of the EU LCS. The first thing I want to talk about is Fnatic. Now, they went 7-0 at the beginning, then they lost 7 games in a row, then they beat Gambit out of nowhere. Any thoughts on that?
Well, no, honesty, Gambit really didn't show up. It was 17-0 at the end of the game. I think they were just sleepy.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's because Fnatic played well, or? Go on, Charlie.
I think it's because Fnatic played well. They were doing good. But my boy Edward, he was there even last week when they had to sub everyone. And he picked all the subs, and mastermind right there.
I think he did a good job picking subs, too. I mean, they won one of the games with 4 subs. That's pretty fantastic. Going beyond that, though, do you think Fnatic can keep winning? Do you think they're back? What do you think's going on with them? Because they've looked absolutely terrible for the past couple weeks.
I don't think they ever left, honestly. It's just a little, a little bump here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone had hiccups.
I would have to disagree with that. I think they left the map completely after going 7-0 and then losing 7 straight. What was it, 7 straight or 8 straight?
It was 8 straight. I had the number wrong.
We're talking about
8 straight losses.
Yeah, I think this could be a turning point for Fnatic, though. Just because it might just put them back on their feet, gain their confidence back that they lost completely.
Yeah. Do you think that with
I thought we
them
were talking about
participating
Gambit.
in IEM Katowice against some of the best teams in the world, do you think that could mess them back up? Because, say for example, they wind up going against a fantastic team like the KT Bullets in the first round. That could seriously mess them up if they lose. Do you think that'll have a big effect? Anything?
They could possibly bring it back to LCS.
They could if they do well. I absolutely agree
Yeah.
with you.
Well, in recent history, at the very least, they haven't done well at anything like that. Like Battle of the Atlantic, was it IAM Cologne?
IEM Cologne, they came in second, but
They
Gambit
didn't do very
absolutely crushed them in the finals, yeah.
Yeah.
David,
yeah,
you
they
looked like
didn't-
you had something to say
They
there for a
even admitted
second.
they weren't at their best.
Yeah.
Well, I googled the game. You said Gambit Fnatic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, in my opinion, I'm not gonna say anything about the Lucian pick on Genja because don't want anything to be accused of being racist here, because I know you guys are gonna accuse me of something. But with the Nidalee on XPK, we all know XPK does things with cats.
What?
That's
Like, you do things with fish. Is that what you're going for?
I really think it's XPK's, kind of fetish thing. And there was the monkey pick on cyanide, whatever, however this
Cyanide?
fuck you say his
Cyanide?
name.
Yeah, cyanide.
Science.
Yeah, that one. Yes. The only thing here is looking at their team comp. Who the fuck was their jungler? Wukong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand their team comp.
They had
Who
Lulu.
was
Just look up the
top
game.
lane Lulu?
They had top lane Lulu. Since
Yeah,
Soaz,
What?
Really made.
Soaz is famous for not liking the tanky
Okay,
meta.
so they obviously won because Gambit's sitting there wondering what the fuck's going on, and Mundo's looking at this little pixie chick, and he had no idea what to do because he's just like this giant purple guy. And you know what Lulu likes? Purple. So,
That is true.
it's just
He's
basic
very
Pokemon
purple.
mechanics where
You know what? I think you just
purple
explained
eating
that game
shit
perfectly.
eats purple.
I think that's a
I
perfect
agree.
description of what happened. I couldn't have said it better myself.
There was also Fnatic doesn't like trolls, that's why they banned Trundle. And Gambit made the huge mistake of banning Caston because nobody knows how to play Caston anymore.
Especially not Expeke. I heard he's really bad
That's
at it.
actually
Think
pretty.
Because, Speccy is a world famous
He's banned every game. Nobody knows how to play him.
He's
Can we
Expeke's
talk about
favorite champion.
Cassidy though? Can we talk
we'll
about
get to
Cassidy
that,
though?
Trevor.
We
Like,
can talk about
We'll get to
Cassidy.
that.
okay.
He's in the notes for the end.
When we get?
So we'll talk about him at the end. All right.
Wait, there's notes? You sent
Yeah,
me
I
these
sent you
notes.
them on Facebook.
Yeah, you were tagged in them.
Really?
You're really good at this, Dave. I'm going to tell you that right now.
We went
Thank you for being here. Okay. While Dave finds out what we're talking about on the show, well, I want to talk about the current jungle state in Europe, because it's been up and down. It's been everywhere. With Diamond Procs coming out really strong early on, along with Yankos on Rokat. But now it looks like junglers like Amazing from Copenhagen Wolves and Svenskern are getting way stronger than them. And with the All-Star voting probably coming up sometime soon, no announcement on that yet, who do you think they can pick? Who's the strongest? Is there a strongest?
Amazing.
Amazing?
You
Why do you
can't
say
let
that?
him play Lee Sin. His Lee Sin play. He has
Yeah.
3 highlights, I think.
Yeah.
Like, all amazing. How do you... I hate to say it like that, but amazing is amazing.
Yeah.
He can't really...
I would
like,
have-
you just watch him. He out-jungles everyone. He out-counter-jungles everyone. He just... I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. Brian, you started to say something?
Pretend I didn't say that.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Zach. Currently, he is on top of the kill participation statistic for the EU with
Yeah.
an 81.2 kill participation.
Okay. But with that being said, SK Gaming has looked phenomenal. I think a lot of that has to do with Svenskern. He may not be as flashy. He doesn't exactly have the Lee Sin mechanics, but his Pantheon is always on point.
So is Impalers. Like, yeah, you have to give that to Impaler too. Like,
That's true.
he
I give
can't pay
Impaler
the
that
man away
credit.
from it.
But I would also make the argument that you can't put Impaler in the top 4 junglers because his champion pool is still very tiny.
Fuck.
He's got the Vine,
Yeah,
he's got the
and-
Pantheon.
God damn
I
it.
think we've seen him on Elise like once. Other than that, it's
Yeah,
been
and I
so-
don't think he did well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
David, can I help you?
but
Oh, I'm playing No Moria, and a honey badger just killed 2 of my gnomes.
Good job.
because Honey Badger don't give a damn. No,
The honey badger has a fighting skill of 26, and my best fighter has a fighting skill of 3. It's OP, honestly.
Okay. David, while
Riot
people are
Blazers.
dead, who do you think is the best jungler in Europe?
In Europe, I have no idea, but North America.
We'll go to
except
North
for the
America in a
odd
few
one.
minutes. We'll go to...
I honestly could not name a European jungler.
Okay. You just talked about cyanide less than 3 minutes ago. Good job.
He jungles? Oh, yeah, cyanide. No, yeah, I guess
plays
he's
a monkey
okay. He
chip.
went 4-0-10. I guess he's okay. He did better than Diamond, who fucking lost 0-4-0.
Okay, good work.
Yeah.
Thanks for having an informed opinion.
okay, so Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, why do you keep bringing up Spence Karen?
I keep bringing him up because I think SK Gaming is looking really good, and I think he is the main reason why. Jesus is still
wouldn't say he's the
fantastic.
main
I don't
reason.
want to take that away from him. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no. I think part of the reason is, I don't know what Charlie's saying. I think part of the reason is Candy Panda is the double lift of EU.
I agree with that. His vein is incredible.
I want to compare him to Double Lift. I don't know. Double
They
Lift's
have
on
very
like the
similar
next
mentality.
level.
It's not exact. What was that? What was that, Brian?
What Brian said
I
something.
said Double Lift's on the next level above Candy Panda, I believe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think that...
I don't
He
necessarily
is
disagree,
arguably one of the best ADs in the world.
Yeah. I think that,
He's
like...
arguably, but he might not be.
I think Candy Panda is definitely the best AD carry in Europe, without a question. I think the next closest would probably be Reckless, but it's still kind of debatable between the two.
Mr. Rollins.
Oh, I forgot about Mr. Rellis.
Mr. Rollins.
He has the best Lucian in the world that I know of.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't
Yeah.
see Koreans playing him as often. But,
Has he fallen out of? Is he fallen out of favor in Korea?
no, it's just that I haven't
For
been able to watch
Silver,
so many
like-
Korean games lately, so I don't have anyone to compare him to.
Oh,
LOL Masters is going on, so most of the best players are doing that. But once regular OGN starts, it'll be easier to follow. Anyone else have anything else to say about that before we move on? No? Let me ask you this before we move on. Is there any jungle champion that you would like to see come out that hasn't yet?
As
I'd like to see Rengar. Like,
He was
when
actually...
High Patch he was disabled, and then they fixed him, and they completely. No one has ever. Well, I'm not gonna say no one has ever, but I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
he might
Funny
be
that you
good
say
with
that.
the new Wriggles.
Yeah. Funny you would say that. I was just watching LPL
Yeah.
before we started this, and there was a jungle Rengar that won a game for a team. It's really strong right now, and I think that you're right. The new Wriggles will help. It'll help him a lot. So, yeah.
I mean,
Anyone
I
else?
just don't like how
I
he
feel like
plays
it's
right now, though.
Yeah.
I still don't like how he plays at the moment.
Yeah.
His Q's still way buggy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why he
I
hasn't
think what they did to
played
Rengar was
Yeah.
that and the change to his W,
Yeah.
the Battle
That
War.
too.
Yeah. I mean, he did kind of need it, but
Okay, let's move on to North America. First thing I want to talk about is my boy Reginald. Coming in early with the 4-2-7Z. How do you guys feel about that?
he did surprisingly well, in my opinion. I was like, Reggie's subbing for Bjergsen, hasn't played in 5 months. GG. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, but He won.
Yeah.
I was
He
very
performed.
confident.
He performed for his team's expectations. His team knew he wouldn't dominate lane, but his team TSM knew that they could rely on him to go even.
Yeah. I don't think anyone expected it. And it was against Skaras Gragas, which is a big deal. We've seen High lose 2-7 to Skaras Gragas. For him to go 4-2-7
It's
is
also due to
incredible.
the jungle synergy.
Yeah. Him and the odd one. have always
Reginald
had
was
pretty
never
good
a
synergy.
bad player.
No, but he's had a 5-month
He was
break.
never
you
a
know?
bad player. I think it was just it was the stress of managing the team and playing at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that just kind of got to him, and that's
Yeah.
why season 3 was really lackluster for him.
Yeah.
So I think
It wasn't even-
getting a break from both micromanaging his own play and macromanaging the team,
Yeah.
I think that break kind of made it better for him.
Yeah. I can definitely
I
agree
think it
with you.
came
there.
like season 3, like the end of season 3, like the requirements for mid lane, like people, like pros, like the mechanics had to go way up in order to compete at top level, and even at the world stage. You've seen it with like Bjergsen. That's one of the main reasons why they changed him, because he knew himself that he was falling out of favor. And I guess he said he wanted to do more with the management side, but mechanics was just a big thing for Reginald. I always thought, like, there's a whole meme about him and his blue card in TF. That's why he troll picked. That's why he troll picked like hovered over it in LCS this weekend. Everyone would scream, they're like, "Oh, TF!"
Yeah.
and you never see it.
Yeah. I agree
I
with
never
you.
necessarily thought that Reggie was bad. It's just that he went on tilt very easily.
Yeah.
At least in season 3.
And I think part of that was the stress of owning and managing the team himself. Part of that was the stress of being the only shot caller on the team. I think Charlie's right. He was never mechanically the best, but he was a good player overall.
It's always strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people
That's
in
why he's a good
TSM
coach
are
now.
mechanically the best.
Yeah.
It's like Odd One's a good jungle, but he's
Odd One's mechanics are
mechanically
terrible.
not that great compared to some other junglers. But
Yeah.
I think he's a really good jungler because he understands a lot about the game.
I don't understand why you're talking about Odd One as a mechanical anything, because jungle is
Yeah,
one of the
jungle
least
doesn't really
mechanically
need
heavy
mechanics.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're playing League
I would
One,
say-
you can't.
They have some of the top tier mechanical, like in NA. They got Wild Turtle. He had 3 counts in Challenger last year.
They got Dyrus,
And
who
he's still
fucking
one of the
cries
top
when he
performing
misses a
AD carries.
CS.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now they got Bjergsen, who just like bends over kids in the mid lane and gives them a rail 1-2.
Yeah. I think that Reggie is better in his position now as a coach. I like his coaching style a lot better than everyone else in North America. For those of you who don't know, Reggie's style is every week he meets with each player and talks about what he thinks their problems are, and then they talk about what they think everyone else on the team is doing wrong. And then he tells them what the team needs to work on as a whole. I think that's better than being in their face telling them what champions to play. Any thoughts on that?
That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
I think he does a good job.
Yeah.
It shows.
Like, I don't-
Look at their record.
Yeah, they have good results.
Yeah,
I don't
Jason's
think-
doing really well.
I don't think you can really tell Bjergsen what he can and can't play. Because he just kind of does what he wants anyway.
He tells them to play ballsy too. Like
Yeah.
he wants them to be flashy with their play.
Yeah.
The irony about that is he hasn't played Syndra in the LCS yet.
Yeah. Syndra hasn't
pocket.
met with too many great results in the game she's been in. She's picked
Yeah.
66% in
Boy player.
LPL, I think. Something
Boy
like
Boy
that.
played her.
Yeah.
She's
And then
so
Link
strong,
played-
and Boy Boy did really well on her.
Yeah. She's a lot more common in China for whatever reason, just like Rengar. But she doesn't always meet with the best results.
They're ballsy.
Yeah. Her lack of mobility doesn't help her that much. Brian, you play Syndra a lot. Do you have anything to say about that?
She has no escape, no dash, anything. She can blow
Doesn't
someone
have a
up
knockback.
easy as hell, but that's about it.
Do you think she should be played
she has
more?
a stun, she has a slow.
Are you saying that like mid lane champions have to have
more?
You saying that like mid lane champions have to have an escape or a dash to be viable?
I don't mean it like that, but her stun is a hard skill shot, I guess. And if you miss it, that's kind of end of gank, end of kill. Like you always have to hit your stun.
It's so punishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Brian, do you think she'd be played more?
No.
No? You think she's good where she is?
Yeah,
I don't think she's gonna get played. Mm-hmm.
I just don't think she's gonna get played.
Do you think a buff to
I
her
think
move
she'll get
speed would
played
help her?
and
Because
I think that would make her a little bit too strong. I think where she's at is she's strong. It's just that the mobility creep.
She's unfavored.
Yeah, I think that she should get a move speed boost personally, because most other mid laners that don't have an escape have 340 base move speed. She has 330. Like if you look at Vel'Koz, he has 340. If you look at Heimerdinger, he's getting back up to 340. Hai said last Friday on Chasing the Cup that that's the whole reason Lux isn't viable, because she's not at 340. So do you think that would make you, Dave? You said that you think that would make her too strong.
I didn't know that her movement speed off the base, like the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way she plays, she's not supposed to be a super mobile mid laner.
Yeah.
I think she's supposed to kind of set up her balls and just sit there and nuke somebody when they come close to her. If she can catch them out, she can nuke somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think she's meant to chase somebody down.
Yeah. Good point. Alright, moving right
if she gets a move speed buff, it would make her too viable.
Yeah, I think like on the flip side, like Heimerdinger, like he kind of plays the same way as her, I guess, where he sets up his turrets and he camps at one spot. But if the team fights anywhere besides where his turrets are, he doesn't do anything to help.
Yeah. His W helped a little bit with that with the changes, but I don't think it was anywhere near enough.
Yeah, I think the rework helped him, but
yeah. We're going to be talking about Heimerdinger in a little bit, actually. So let's move on from that.
You mean now? We're talking about Heimerdinger now.
We're going to talk about him again in a little bit because he's getting buffs.
No, there's a list, Dave.
There's a list. We
Did
sent
you
you the
read the
list.
list?
Yeah, I know. Charlie,
and you told us about the
Charlie,
list.
Charlie, you should check League. Charlie, check League. Okay.
What's he checking League for, Dave?
Because I've sent him like 12,000 invites.
Good work. 10 out of 10.
We're not doing this now.
No, Charlie. Charlie, do it. Do it, Charlie.
Okay.
We're not playing right now.
We're going to move right along. I want to talk about XGG.
One me.
Hey, David. What's your opinion on sheep?
Yeah?
What's your opinion on sheep?
On sheep? Well, when you're playing Sellers of Catan, it's really, you end up with too many sheep, and everybody else wants like brick or wood in the early game. But then you get in the late game, everybody wants the wheat and the rocks. And sheep don't really do much unless you're going for the strategy cards. So really, sheep they don't really provide much unless you're trying to just build your a settlement. But after
Okay,
like
Dave,
the first
Dave,
like
okay,
3 or 4 turns, you're
up.
about as spread out as you can, and you can't get any more settlements down.
Okay. I'm going to say right now, I think XGG looks a lot better with sheep. I think that having Zuna and Smithy back in their original roles makes a lot of sense. They played really well, especially in the Cloud9 game. I think that their team comp was almost perfect in the Cloud9 game. CLG game was kind of bad, but no one's really doing fantastic against CLG right now anyway. I know, Zach, you said that you didn't think their team comp was that great. Can you mention that real quick?
It wasn't necessarily that I didn't think it was that great. Like in the game against Cloud9, like that team comp worked very well. It's more that like MadCloud didn't play very well. Like even with Smithy back as the jungler, he still died 1v1 to I think twice. I mean, he did eventually come back in the CS and the kills, but early game he didn't really play that well.
Yeah. I do agree with you. His early game was not great. But when you consider when they got to team fights, whoever initiated for them, because they had basically 4 initiates with, for those who don't know, their team comp was Shyvana top, Pantheon jungle, Lulu mid, Caitlyn AD carry, and Leona support. So if Shyvana went in, she could shield Shyvana. If Pantheon went in, she could shield Pantheon. If Leona went in, she could Zenith Blade, then Lulu could knock them up. It was beautiful, and they won a bunch of team fights because of it. But I do agree that ManCloud was really, really far behind. And I do think that top lane lost really hard, and mid lane lost really hard. I see him, Charlie. We're just gonna let him do. We're just gonna let him do.
No, I'm trying to say something.
What are you trying to say?
Okay.
I'm trying to say, if you're giving XDG all this praise, yes, they did good, but I believe most of that is C9 just underestimating their opponent. Like, that's how they've lost their past 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the other team they lost against?
The other team they lost against was CLG. They lost really hard.
CLG.
I don't think
when
it's
CLG
fair to
wasn't
say
playing
that they
that
just
well.
underestimated CLG, because CLG's been playing beautifully.
Okay, but
That was the start of CLG.
That was the beginning of the good streak for them, though.
Yeah.
You didn't expect much out of them, but now you can expect a lot.
But there's a pattern that comes up.
You're giving
here.
them way too.
There's a very distinct pattern.
Them being in their positions is good. They should have done that and been done.
Yeah.
Smithy deserves to be in the jungle. He proved it.
Yeah.
And then Zuna, he's just rusty. I think he'll be back, but she played very well for just coming from like Canada.
He had 1 day to practice.
A couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did fantastic.
I just think that it was more or less C9 just playing
Yeah.
bad.
It was really high let ManCloud catch up.
Yeah. Speaking of Cloud9,
I have a whole different opinion on ManCloud.
Yeah.
ManCloud's awful?
Both times they've lost this.
I think ManCloud's atrocious right now.
Yeah.
But I can't beat them, so it's okay.
Every time Cloud9 loses, it's almost entirely because their bot lane falls really far behind. High can win lane as hard as he wants, and Balls can win lane as hard as he wants. It doesn't matter, because Zuna will come back, or Doublelift will come back, or fucking I'm a Cutie Pie will come back. And I think that's what's losing them the games.
Yeah. And Sneaky and Lemonation are very underrated bot lane. Like, it's not, like, I'm not to say that they're underrated, but, like, they're overlooked because Balls and High play so mechanically high skill.
But can you say they're underrated when... Can you say they're underrated when they don't always win lane and the other two consistently do?
Well, they do have very tough competition. You put them up against Wild Turtle and Special, probably the best bot lane in NA, barring Afromoo and Doublelift.
Yeah, but I mean, they lost to a bot lane that had been together for 1 day. Granted, Zuna has already been a pro player and Sheep has been playing for a while, but they don't exactly have the right synergy after a day.
Yeah, no, I honestly do think that Lemonation wasn't anticipating Sheep to play as aggressive as he did.
Yeah.
Because Lemonation blew his flash for at least twice for no reason. Died at least once to Sheep just CC locking him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't paying attention. But I do think they underestimated Sheep and Zuna.
Yeah. I agree with you on that, though. I also want to talk about Charlie, my support man. How do you feel about the 2 Morgana picks yesterday? One was by Lemonation,
I think they're bullshit.
The other was Sheep. Can you talk about why you
I hate Morgana. I've hated her with a fucking passion. Alright? But
Can you talk
you know
about
what
why
happened?
you hate her?
I used to hate Leona too. And then I figured I'm not winning because I'm not playing the good champions.
Yeah.
So I picked Leona up and started playing her, and we started winning a bunch of ranked games. Then, now Morgana is winning a bunch of these games, and I'm getting shit on by a bunch of Morgana because my champion pool does not do well against her. I think she's just a cock block and stuff. She's a cock block champion. I'll talk about cock block champions. That's one of them. Because
who are
she's
the others?
no fun, shield, CC.
Rise.
Rise is one of them because it was fucking brute.
Is
who's another
stun,
one?
or no, is snare.
Yeah.
There's a list of champions that makes Charlie really mad, and that's the list is about 112 champions long. Also, Brian.
I also despise any mid laner that goes bot. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Lux.
I think Brian's really wants to say something about this.
Annie, I like Annie. I always liked Annie. I had no problem with her.
Okay. So
Morgana is just a great pick against them all right now. That's what it is.
So why don't we ask your AD carry Brian
Yes.
what he thinks about these champions?
Brian. Hey, yo.
Yeah, okay.
He's not even there. Okay,
He's
good
taking a
work.
shit.
Good work.
He's taking a shit.
Did he tell you?
He texted me.
You probably should have that.
He sent me a text. He was like, "I went to take a shit." You guys say I'm not paying attention.
No, we don't know.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah. Granted, I've got Pokemon Coliseum on the screen right there, but
Good work.
No,
I think Morgana. I think it makes sense to have her as a support because her shield. It really doesn't do that much for her mid lane. I mean, yes, it absorbs magic damage, but I feel like
it does more
its
for her
main
bot lane
utility-
right now.
It's the CC shield.
It's always done more
It's
for
like-
bot lane.
I feel like if you have Morgana and Server bot lane, and like they're against like a Thresh or a Blitzcrank, it's just gonna be a bad time for the Thresh or Blitzcrank, because they're gonna hate their life.
Good job, Charlie.
Because I went to take a shit and I
Yeah.
got a Snapchat from him.
Okay, show
It's
it to the
probably
camera.
his face being
Show
constipated.
it to the camera.
Damn. I couldn't.
Okay.
It was too quick.
We didn't get it.
Hold on, let me see
I
the
don't have video.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna move right
we
along.
can
We're gonna
keep
talk
talking
about a
about
team
that.
that I like that I don't think you guys like. I want to talk about Coast. Because they've been looking absolutely phenomenal lately.
I have Brian's Snapchat.
Did you say nope?
Nope.
I mean, I feel like the coast is a really hard spot to be because it's like in AZ, you spawn on the coast, you don't have any weapons. Usually, there's a bunch of high-geared people
That's
there.
not even League of
that you
Legends.
just kill the fresh spawns.
That's not even a little bit League of Legends. Charlie, you said nope. Why'd
I
you say
mean, I was
no?
talking about Settlers of Catan earlier.
Zion Spartan is the man. I don't have a problem with Zion.
Yeah.
Even his teacher calls him it. I have to say that joke for Alan when he watches this. I like Shifter, but like I think he's overrated. He's just starting to prove himself now.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he do it once he was like being this hot? He was like super hot at the beginning of the he was hyped, not hot. He was
Yeah.
hyped because of how well he did in the Challenger circuit.
Yeah.
And he was the one
even
that
if his
carried it,
teacher
and he still
calls him
does.
Zion's fine. Like
We're already
Charlie, do your
past
I'm on
teachers call you
Shifter,
throw
dude.
dogs?
we're not even talking about
We're
Zion.
sorry.
Don't you
I
have
wanted to
a
explore
have
dog
Shifter in the
jokes, so-
fantasy league?
Me?
Okay.
I don't have Shifter.
Yes, Dave has Shifter.
Yeah.
Dave has
I think
Shifter.
so. Yeah. How's he doing? I haven't followed that at all.
Good work. For
beat
the audience
TSM.
that doesn't know, we play a fantasy League of Legends league, where we have NA and EU LCS
It gets
players.
updated
Positions,
weekly.
They earn us points. We update weekly.
You mean like every other month it's updated?
Shut up.
Fuck up there.
I
Okay.
don't think he's updated it in a while.
No, Brian updated it last.
Yeah. Charlie,
Yeah.
since you want to talk about it, do you think
I'm
Coast will continue to win?
I think they're on an up right now. I don't know how well they'll be doing. Look, how many weeks? Next week is Super Week, right?
Yeah, 4 games.
And do they have a week after that still? They have 4 games after that?
I don't know if they play next week because
or
next
is it
week.
is this the end?
No, there's 11 weeks
I
total.
think it goes up to.
It goes up to 11. I know that off the top
Okay,
of my
so
head.
they got this week.
This week is
They
week
got
8.
3 more weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
They've got 3 weeks.
So that's what?
So
10
they got
games.
3 weeks to prove themselves, and they're at like the middle or the bottom.
They have been
I don't know
moving
the
up.
frickin'
They're in
standings right now,
5th
shit.
place right now. They're 1 game away from being tied for
I
4th.
think.
Yeah, they're in 5th.
And
If
who's
they win
where's
one more
EG
and
at?
Dignitas loses one more, they're tied for 4th.
I think AG's the same.
No, they beat EG when they
And
won
it's
their
only
game
it's the bottom
on Sunday.
3 that don't.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
think they'll do well, even though they might make it above the bottom 3 into
Yeah.
the playoffs. Even though,
Charlie,
like,
let me stop you there.
hold on, this
you
call
said
is
this last
lagging up.
spring
Hold on.
split. You said this last spring
What?
split when they were GGU,
About what?
and they came in second for the split.
Yeah, I didn't like them then either. I
Yeah.
still don't like them. I think it's mostly because Zion Spartan. No, not Zion Spartan. Nintendo's ugly as fuck. Anyway,
Hey,
Dude, he
Nintendo's
looks
man.
like you.
Don't diss Nintendo.
hey,
He looks
I
a
had
lot
this
like
first.
you.
I had this first. Fuck you.
He's older than
He
you.
looks
Anyway.
like you. You think he's ugly?
I don't know. The reason they did well last spring split is because they had the same exact champion pools basically as TSM. I felt,
Yeah.
and that Reggie and ManCloud would compete. Not ManCloud.
Shifter.
Wait, Shifter.
Wait, wasn't it Jinpei
Shifter
back
would
then?
compete. Yeah,
Yes, it
it
was
was Jintae. He
Jintae.
played TF, didn't they?
Yeah, it was Gentei.
Yeah, okay. Well, they still had the same kind of champion pool then.
Yeah.
And that's why they were such a struggle for TSM in the playoffs anyway. I just don't think that... I think Shifter can only do so much for his team.
Yeah.
Because I personally feel that their bot lane's the weakest. One of the weakest in NA.
If they're not the weakest to us,
I can see that.
Daydreamin's a good support. But I don't know about Wiz Fusion.
do you think...
He's a really
Now-
good AD carry.
Yeah. Now, well, there are factors in this that we don't know, that only Coast will know, but they were debating between WizFusion and Chaos. Do you think the Chaos would have been a better pick? Do you think his champion pool doesn't really work with what's going on?
his champion
I don't know
pool
about
works
Chaos.
exactly the same way.
You don't know,
I
Trey?
think Wiz Fusion's more... I think Wiz Fusion's got a better champion pool for the meta right now.
Yeah.
Even though both of them can probably
Chaos-
play. I know that both of them can
Chaos
probably
also plays
play
like
it just fine.
Yeah.
Everyone plays Caitlyn.
Wait.
That's a basic thing.
But
You gotta be
Caitlyn
able
also
to
gets
play it.
banned a lot now.
That's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Because of Sivir, Caitlyn's
True.
also banned half the games, so... What are you going to do then?
Mm-hmm.
I think now would be a good
Pick Jinx
time...
again.
What? I think now would be a good time
Pick
to
Jinx
move
again.
on and talk about the new Fizz skin.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I think Coast should be the reason Heimerdinger comes back.
Again, we're going to talk about Heimerdinger in just a few minutes.
Pushes top.
Yeah.
And this is a good segue. All right. Their team comp where Jack split pushes top and Nidalee and Caitlyn push mid.
Yeah.
Heimerdinger would be great against that, and you know it.
Yeah, you know what?
So Heimerdinger changes.
Okay, well, we'll go to the Heimerdinger
I
changes.
don't think he's going to see any competitive play still there, Ginger Jesus.
What?
He just doesn't have an escape. Period.
Okay.
You don't
First
see
of all,
people without
you,
escapes unless they're
bang.
like super mid laners.
Funny you should mention
yourself.
that, Charlie. His movement speed is being increased from 335 to 340, which is the norm for champions that don't have escapes. So that should help him a little
He
bit.
still has the Donger walk, right?
Yeah,
What?
I haven't
It
actually
doesn't
played his
matter.
new visual update. I would be really interested
really
to know
like it.
that. You don't like it? Why?
He was I don't want to say he was a lot stronger before. I haven't really put a lot of time into the sense of the update, but in my opinion, laning was more effective with him. And by that I mean broken. You could place your 2 turrets, roam bot lane, throw your E and your W, and then press R and you still have the entire wave mid.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was fun.
Is this like a... Are we changing over to PvE now? Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't actually find the Heimerdinger changes. My link is broken. But the PBE was just changed a couple hours ago, so I want to talk about some things that came up then. First of all, the Kassadin changes have been moved in. That involves his playstyle becoming more like Rise, where his damage scales for mana. He also gains the ability to move through minions, like if you have Phantom Dancer. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that's a good way to stop Kassadin from being super broken?
I can't hear anymore. This call's kind of bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Alright, it's good now.
Okay. I'll edit this out.
I think it's when I alt-tab out the program.
Yeah.
Repeat those things you just said about Kassadin.
Okay, so first of all, Kassadin's R is changed so that it doesn't stack damage when you do it multiple times. Secondly, his damage now scales with mana, like Rise. His Q doesn't silence anymore, it's just a burst. And his passive added a second ability where he can move through minions, like if you had Phantom Dancer.
Doesn't his little burst, the ball thing, just disable now?
Yeah.
No. It can only interrupt.
It's not a stun, it's a disable.
It was always a silence, it's not a silence anymore.
I would have.
Yeah.
I feel like keeping the silence would have been okay. I feel like putting move speed on him doesn't make sense. Not that
He didn't get move speed.
Walk through minions. That doesn't make. The minion pass. That doesn't really make sense. I feel like if they took away the stacking damage and then kind of buffed the stacking mana on the lowered the mana costs on the alt, but still had it stacking, it'd be okay.
Well, part of
because the biggest problem with Kassadin, he's such a mobile champ.
Yeah. I think a lot of the problem is also how much damage he can do with his ult. I think that's a lot of the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that doing something about it is the right plan of action. I don't play him enough to know if this is the right course of action.
I think changing the stacking damage is okay. That's a step in the right direction. I'm not sure how not adjusting the mana values on it will come into play. I feel like that's going to be changed.
Actually, hold on.
Let me check with passive and Q to make sense.
Let me check and see if the mana values have been changed. His Null Sphere now interrupts channels. R
gives him a shield. I don't really like that.
It now damage now scales with mana. Damage from each subsequent rift walk is no longer.
He's like. I don't think he's an assassin anymore. I think it's more of like a AP melee bruiser kind of deal.
Yeah,
with the shield.
W is getting a lot of buffs.
I think he's the assassin version of Rise.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be the assassin version of Rise. So.
But still,
I don't know if this is going to help him.
Potential.
The Manian Pastor, because that's in addition to his previous passive.
Yeah, it's an addition.
Well, that's the hope is laning.
That's just odd.
They nerfed his laning really hard by doing this.
Yeah.
It's like a better version of Fizz's passive.
Yeah. And again, this is all in PBE, so it may or may not actually happen.
Well, Fizz is getting buffed apparently because the nerfs on the Lichbane.
Yeah, it's
his
just
WAP ratio got changed to.
It got moved back to what it used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It used to be 0.3.
Okay.
It was half before
like
when they nerfed it.
But it went up a lot compared to where it was.
Yeah.
Twisted
Fate got a similar
down
buff.
to 0.15.
Twisted Fate got a similar buff for the same reason. The Lichbane, they're trying to make sure that the champions that needed Lichbane are compensating for it.
I feel like it's going to make Fizz more interesting because, in addition to, I think Lichbane is still very viable on him. I think going Triforce is going to be equally viable. Because I don't think Triforce is bad on Fizz, it's just Lichbane is just better. But now with the change to Lichbane, I think they're just you can go Bruiser Fizz.
Triforce just always so expensive though.
Yeah.
It's not really that expensive, because everything on it gives Fizz things that are nice on him.
It's true.
Because if you're
Even
going attack damage on them, then there's nothing on there that you don't want, really.
Yeah. Let's talk about the two other big changes in this PvE. Annie's base range has moved down to 575s from 525, so her auto attacks can't hit as far. Charlie, any thoughts on that? Resident support.
I like that. Now she's not an unhittable motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a fucking kind of an attack range.
That's the
Like they lowered Thresh's range before they lowered her range. Like what the hell?
Yeah.
It will hurt mid lane Annie though.
Yeah, you know what? That will hurt mid lane
in
Annie.
season 2.
But Annie got
But you're just saying no.
Season 2.
Annie got a buff too, which is if her disintegrate kills a target, it now refunds half the cooldowns as well. I think that's to help buff mid lane Annie a little bit. So
Okay.
I kind of think that balances out.
No, that's probably to counteract the nerf to her kiting.
Yeah.
Like if you can now get your stun up faster
Yeah.
in order to get a single target stun in support ball.
Okay. The other change is Maokai is getting some love. His ult cost is
Yay?
what?
Wait, I thought they removed him from the game.
I haven't seen
No,
it
he went back to
since
the trees.
he showed up at IEM Sao Paulo to no success. So he was there.
Maokai's really strong. He is really
He's
strong.
like a
He just has a
trigger
really
Nautilus.
early game
In the
problem.
current meta, he is not strong.
He's on every map. You see how many trees are on the Summoner's Rift map?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's back.
Someone's done pooping.
I'm done pushing.
Okay,
That
so
only
the
took you a half
nerf, the
hour.
buff to Maokai, ready for this, it's really huge. His ult now costs 75 mana instead of 80. That's the buff.
Didn't it change the mana per second too?
No,
last
the mana
PvE?
per second is still 20. It's just 5
Yeah,
mana.
I think last PvE thing they made it go down.
I
I
think
feel
that,
like I would rather have more of these really tiny
True
tweaks.
but when a champion is so far behind the rest of the pack, he needs something more significant. And I agree that we need to move forward
feel
with the
like
Those are
jungle.
AoE jungles.
Yeah.
He's
I think we
not
need to
necessarily
move
behind the
forward.
pack.
I think he is. I
The
think
viable
there's
champion pool in League
Yeah,
is
he
like
just
He's
70
really bad early
champions.
game.
It's really bad early game in a meta that's dominated by early game junglers. If you look at the Pantheons, the Lee Sins, the Elises, he doesn't work right now.
Yeah. Okay, dude, after this, I'm gonna go play Maokai Jungle.
Play Maokai AD carry. It's better.
You're trying to say something. Dave was trying to say
I
something.
was saying, what was I trying to say? I would rather see much tinier, like buffs, like tweaks like that. Like, okay, they're only changing something by 5 mana, but I'd rather see more of those than these things where they nerf a champion to the dust and then forget about him for 3 months.
Yeah. I would rather they move towards that too. But I think they need to work on getting every champion up to a level where it can be played, sort of, first. Okay.
But they can't not prioritize like the super pain in the ass champions like Cassidy. They get 100% pick ban rate.
Yeah.
No.
Well-
He got ignored once in the EU. Once.
Did he?
Twice. He's been played twice in a
Yeah.
year. Twice.
No, he got ignored.
He's saying ignored.
What did?
Yeah, he didn't get ignore banned.
I would prefer everything to go the Dota route where everything is stronger rather than everything is really weak. I'd rather just leave like things like Pantheon or Cats or whatever the OP things where they are, and then just nerf everything up to OPness.
Yeah.
I mean, Cassidy will still probably need some changing because he's a little up there. People are actually practicing with him. They're still really strong with him, but I think other things need large buffs.
Yeah. Then that I can agree with that.
He's been banned so much.
Yeah,
I think he's been banned so much that
really
he's
strong
been playing.
assassins.
Yeah.
Kevin, Charlie was right with the Maokai PvE thing. Normally it's 30 mana per second. Now it's 20. In PvE it's 20 mana per second.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for confirming that, Brian.
I remember reading it.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna go
We're
to
going to talk
Dave.
about the stylish factors of the new Fizz skin.
We're gonna
Dave
talk
wants
about
to
the Fizz skins. Dave, have you seen
Okay.
the new release for it?
Yeah,
Because-
I saw the thing. I'm not a fan of Chomper, but I do like the stylish purple factor. It's going to be an instant buy for me. And I
Yeah.
will maintain my collection
Kinda-
of Fizz skins.
He kind of looks like
I
Maokai.
like the look.
Throwing it out there.
He's got like this creepy little kind of cute factor going. I dig it. I don't feel Chomper. I feel like the purple Chomper, I would put it above the Atlantean Chomper, but below the Orca of the Tundra Fizz, and definitely Earth I think is still. I personally like the Orca just as much as I like Earth, but both of them are better than Void Chomper.
Okay, good work. I'm glad we got detailed
I have nothing
opinion
to
from-
say about Fizz.
You have something to say about Fizz?
He
I have
looks like
nothing to say
Maokai. Just
about
look at his
this.
face.
I was just waiting for Dave. This was his moment. This was his moment. I wanted him to have it.
I'm just gonna say something. I guess I can say something about it. I think it's nice that they're doing another community skin.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
that was community concept.
yeah. I think that
There was
there are a
another
lot of
skin that was community
fantastic.
concept before.
There's a lot of really good community concepts out there.
just
I
like-
hope more of them get recognized. I also
like the
hope that we
Thanksgiving
get
Like
SK
Regional
Telecom
Champions,
skins,
they
right,
could do a
please.
fun skin.
I want my SK Telecom
We haven't
jabs.
gotten those yet?
No. Part of the reasoning behind that is that the company that owns Type A Assassins made their skins for them. I believe Garena did it. So, that's a separate matter. Yellow ward changes. So the yellow trinket is not going to be available till a minute 55 seconds into the game when the buff spawn. Do you think that'll have an effect on the competitive early game? Do you think that that will make blue trinkets more useful really early and then you just go back and buy yellow? Charlie, you're shaking your head. Is that all you
They're
have?
still gonna do the fucking fan standoff thing.
Yeah.
That's all that's gonna happen.
What I think is going to happen is that supports are going to switch from the Doran Shield, which just got nerfed in the live patch, to the Gold Generation and a regular ward, which will be able to be placed prior to
Okay.
Yeah.
155.
If we're going to
That-
talk about the
that's
support
important,
items.
but what about everyone else?
Yeah, because that brings an interesting
Go ahead.
point. Most of the reason that they do the standoff is so that they can get the entire river warded, so that the junglers from either team can't really invade as easily. So do you think that'll have a big effect on that? Anyone?
I still don't think that people will take blue. They won't take blue over yellow. It's still too valuable.
Charlie, in the Fnatic Gambit game, Edward finished with the blue trinket.
Early
Blue
game.
trinket- blue trinket is
early
good late
game.
game.
No, early game. No.
Yeah, early game, no.
Yeah.
I think that the only way you would buy it early game is to invade and then sell it for a yellow ward. It's just a thought that popped into my head. But if we're going to talk about the support item changes, Charlie, which gold generation items do you think are going to be big if the Doran Shield gets taken away?
Lanes like Thresh and Leona, they're gonna want to still go with it. Honestly.
Yeah.
And or maybe some people that don't feel comfortable on it, they'll take the yellow, the ancient coin thing,
Yeah.
plus a ward and 2 of the muffins,
Yeah.
and then
Biscuits?
but that's not. They're gonna fall out of favor, those kinds of sports right now. I feel it's more or less because of the Frost Queen's blade getting buffed so hard.
Yeah.
I like it, and it's gonna bring back Zyra. I like playing Zyra a lot.
Zyra, Sona,
And
Nami.
Lulu's gonna be a contested Lulu might get contested, but she's way too popular mid lane right now to be
Yeah.
bot lane.
Isn't the nerfs to Lich Bane are going to affect her, but
She's Lich Bane's just an added thing for her. I feel
Yeah. It helps with her
It's
passive
nice.
a little bit.
it's more about poke for her.
Yeah. She can still go with
their
beans into something else. I don't play her enough to know what. Maybe Nashers?
GFGOP.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Lulu. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What changes are being made to Frostgreen's claim?
Charlie, you want to cover
It
that?
became a skill shot nuke. Alright? And it's like,
Okay.
they used to do the slow, and then in the final stage of it, you used to not, like when you killed minions, it would like retain your gold per second, like from auto attacking people. Now, when you kill minions, it doesn't take that away anymore. So now you can kill minions at the final statement. So you want to rush it as fast as you can, along with Sightstone.
Okay.
Because before it would take away gold, which is why.
Yeah, because before definitely, I thought Ancient Coin was the strongest before. Because with Ancient Coin, as long as you're in lane. Yeah. I mean, but no, I guess if you're rushing the Frost Queen, then once you have the final upgrade, I'd say it's probably equally as strong.
You might even want to sell it at late point for just the speed boost part, because that's like so key in some team fights. Disengage. If you don't have it, that helps you.
Does it still slow Frost Queen?
The slow.
80%.
I'm just talking, but late game, the Ancient Coin third stage, the active on it is way more valuable than Frost Queen.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Okay. One more
What do you
thing.
think, Brian? You're my duo. I was going to ask Brian about it.
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
He's like my duo.
Go right ahead.
If he's even
Probably
here.
pooping.
Could you repeat the
again?
question?
What do you think about the item changes for supports? Because you're my duo body.
Oh, with the trinket and the nerf of Duran? Yeah,
You can talk about that. Yeah.
okay. I think that supports are going to buy Duran shields because the nerf and because of they're going to need ward inventory. Well, they're going to need to place early wards, like early vision wards, because the trinket doesn't work
It's
till
also
55,
true.
right? Or minute 55, whatever.
Minute 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just going to see more vision wards instead of trinkets. Well, instead of yellow
I'll take
trinkets,
that.
right?
I take back what I said about buying Doran's. I don't think you're right. You're not going to buy Doran's shield anymore, because the supports, like Zach said, are going to start out with the yellow
GP10.
trinket, but they're going to buy a ward at the start now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're going to buy a GP10.
I think they're going to start red trinket.
I don't think so. Still,
Starting red trinket isn't as effective.
you're still going to get the yellow.
Yeah. Level 9 is a good time to buy red trinket, or when you get Sightstone on support. So, I think you should still wait till then.
I'm interested to see how the change to the yellow trinket is going to affect other lanes, because I know when I play in mid lane, I would like to put down the trinket immediately at 130, as soon as you can put it down, and then you can have it about the time like a jungler would be coming to your lane. Because the cooldown's 2 minutes, I think. And you can usually have it right around when the jungler would be showing up, so that can add some security. But with the not being able to place until 25 seconds later, the jungler's going to get there before it's off cooldown. So you're either going to have to go with not getting the early vision or risking it later.
I think that it's going to be more of a matter of figuring out when the jungler will have finished their buffs and placing a ward down like 10 seconds beforehand, or playing extremely safe in lane. Because if they have say Elise in, he can come get you right after red buff.
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah. So one last thing I want to
He's
do.
even cheesy if he starts right.
Yeah. One last thing I want to do is I want everyone to mention who they think the MVP of the week in their eyes is. It can be in any region, OGN, LCS, either one, LPL. I want you to say who it is and why. Charlie, why don't you start?
The Super Week or the week you just finished?
The week
I
that
don't
just
want to
happened.
start.
You don't want to start? Okay, Zach, start.
I don't want to start.
Trying to think. I don't. I think Mr. Raleigh should get more recognition. Not necessarily MVP, but definitely more recognition.
Yeah? Why?
He's probably the strong top 3 AD carries in EU. His Lucian's unbeatable. He holds his own against, like, even when Miggs is, like, dying and giving up first blood, which actually he's a pretty good sport. Mr. Rollins is keeping up with CS. He's even going ahead of, I think he went ahead of Genja, like, every game they played. And he knows, like, where to position in team fights. So, he
Good
definitely
call.
needs more recognition.
Good call. Dave, do you want to go next?
Sure. I really thought in the take-home Justin Bieber game of the Olympics with the Canadians U.S. Hockey teams playing each other, I really thought that Corey Perry, one of the Canadian professional ice hockey wingmen, I think he did really well. He's a little bit on the older side. He's 28, which is slightly above the average age of Canadian hockey players. But I think he had a really strong showing and did a pretty good job.
Okay. That was informative. Brian.
For NA, well, I'm just going to go with NA. I would say CLG's Link.
Yeah.
Because he did dominate both games as LeBlanc and Ziggs.
Yeah. This was his second week in a row getting
Link
the
was the
actual MVP.
MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Second week in a row. Charlie, your move.
I'm just gonna go with Reginald. Cop out. He played really well against Dig, and he wasn't the reason they lost either, though. So it was the whole team. I think he made his debut, come back, and end very well. And at least his last game wasn't on Timo.
There you go. Now he can never say that again. I am going to go with my new favorite pro player. He is from China in the LPL on Team Invictus. His name is MC capital Z lowercase z 1 Thai God. He is the mid laner, and he's been playing very well, although Invictus has not been. What?
God bless you.
That's his name.
I thought you sneezed. I thought you sneezed.
I wish I was joking. That's like half the reason I gave him MVP. He has the best name in League of Legends. And his support is
I
called
really
Kitty.
like Kitty's more than him.
Kitty is a support.
Yeah, I like him more.
Yeah, just like the support for, I think it's OMG is Alan. But yeah, I think that's all we have for today. So, does anyone have any Twitters or Facebooks or Trouble in Terrorist Town servers they want to plug?
No.
No?
If you
Yo,
play
shout outs to Usman's mom.
Okay.
She's a hot single lady.
And her phone
Usman's
number
mom.
is...
David, do you have anyone you want to shout out to?
Brian does actually have her phone number.
I really want to thank my roommate Max. He's
Right
he
behind
wants to be
you.
left out of this. I don't think you can hear him because my mic's really low sensitivity. He wants to be left out of this, so I take it back. I would never thank that fucking bitch.
Okay. Zach, anything?
I guess I'll be a butt sniffer and thank Riot Games
Stutterer?
for allowing us to do this.
Oh, I don't
Kind
think they
people.
allow this.
They make a good game.
I don't think they allow this. We're gonna.
They're not gonna not allow it.
They're not gonna not allow it, but I'm not
We're
gonna go as
clearly
far as saying they
a panel
allow
of highly intelligent and informed people.
Shoutouts to Alan Winscombe for being the biggest douchebag I know that I played League of Legends with. Also,
He's
Tim
not even
Tully.
flat.
Tim Tully, he's one of the best top laners I've ever played with, okay? I just played with him like 10 minutes ago, even though this has been over an hour. And he was playing Shen.
You were playing a game.
And he built Static Shiv on him.
Dude, that's legit.
He usually goes Blade of the Ruined King, but he went Static Shiv, so I give him props for that.
Dyrus used to build Ionic Spark on Chen.
Shut the fuck up, Zach.
Okay, let me shamelessly plug myself real quick. You can follow me on Twitter at TK's League. You can find articles that I write about competitive League of Legends on teamdignitas.net. Just type in TK in the search bar. And that's all I have to say. So meet us again next Monday, where at least Zach and I will be back. Have a good day.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, the other oranges aren't looking quite orange right now, so, yeah.